When I was in high school, it was not actually my plan to become an accountant. That's a funny story. I wanted to study musical theatre because I love drama and performing arts. But my mother told me I have to have a serious career. So I did accounting. That's the truth. I mean, it's the truth. So when I had to choose a serious career, I think that's really when I thought, okay, what am I good at? And I was good at maths and I was good at English. So accountancy then just became the natural choice. And at the time, Psycho was doing a lot of road shows to promote chartered accountancy as a profession. So they were really trying to get a lot of young people to come into the profession in those days. So I guess it was just the right time. I was in the right place at the right time.
Well, I loved numbers and I realized that I'm actually good like in accounting as a subject. Then I thought it wouldn't be too bad. Like I would actually still have good grades in university.
Coming out of school, I didn't really know what I actually wanted to do. I had a penchant for technology and computers. So my first choice wasn't actually chartered accountancy. I chose to rather go into informatics, thinking it's around where my passion lies. But having studied that after the first year, I realized that actually this is not something I want to make a career out of. So, I sat back and I thought to myself, what next? And that's when I sat down and I thought, let me rather look at something that's going to open up doors for me. And one of the things that came up was chartered accountancy. Most people who talk about chartered accountants talk of them in high regard. And also, making money is not a bad thing. So that's what I chose.
I think the most difficult time was just in university. There was a lot to study. It was a lot of volume. And as much as I enjoyed it, I think just the content that one had to learn, that was a lot. I think also preparing for board exams, that was hard. But again, if you enjoy what you're studying and you can kind of understand the value that it'll give you in the long term, you kind of relate to it differently. But make no mistake, it is not easy. And that technical rigor of this profession, there's not enough I can say about that.
So for me, it was really like the board exams. They were quite challenging and fortunately I managed to stay committed and stay motivated, obviously with the help of everybody around me, and then I passed my board exams.
Because I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do, I didn't really understand what chartered accountancy was. The shift initially to moving to financial accounting just from school accounting was quite a big jump. And then learning new subjects that you never had exposure to in school. Your stuff like tax, stuff like auditing, management accounting was things you didn't learn in school, which was probably the biggest jump for me.
One of the areas of our profession that I love is really strategy and financial strategy in particular. That's, I think, one of the areas, and that's really the area that I work in the most, is helping businesses with strategy, financial strategy, because that's really forward thinking, future focused, and that's really where we start to see the power of finance for decision making to actually drive and create economic value.
So I think for me, chartered accountancy is a very dynamic profession. It forces you to keep thinking on your feet. Every day you have new challenges, new industries, changes in technology. So the demand is different every single day, which forces you to adapt as a person, starting to create, more creative type of solutions so that you are able to stay ahead of what's happening in the market.
Okay, I want to say to the youth, you need to identify what it is that you're good at, what you're passionate about, and then go out there and get it. That's all.
So, I'm passionate about the youth and training. For me, the biggest hurdle I find in the youth of today is that they don't have mentors to help them not make the mistakes that we've made in building our careers. For me, the most important thing is for them to get a mentor, even if it is within their own career space or even outside their career space, to give them a fresh perspective or at least help them with their experience so that they can then progress quicker to the levels that they need to be.
What I would say to the youth is you're coming into the workforce at a time when the world is really going through a lot of change, and the profession is also going through a lot of change. And I understand that that can be quite challenging, and I understand that that is happening at a time when, certainly in this country, there's a lot of challenges as well that we're dealing with just in the society. But one thing I always say to people is when there's challenge, that's also the time for finding the opportunity, and you really need to rise to the occasion. This is a time when you can really commit yourself to your profession, to your education, and to set yourself apart, because the rules have not been written for the world that we're going into. So you can write the rules. You have the power to direct your career. And that's what I want to leave with you today. Take that power and write your story for yourself.